Welcome everyone to another episode of Rooftop Perspectives. I am your host, as always, LanceScurv. Anyway, just want to say, this saying has been in my head for the longest time. A lie can catch a ride with anybody, but the truth always walks alone. I guess that's why I walk alone a lot, right? But these sayings and these things, I'm going to be starting to put up different t-shirts, a lot more on the site directly. And you just click it, boom, it'll take you to where you can purchase it. But I'm going to be doing different shirts like this now. I've restructured everything. I don't want to just tell you from now, go to the app. I finished the app. I'm finished with the app. Everybody's photo is on there. You click their button. It takes you to their playlist of all the videos and interviews we've ever done. It's convenient. You need to have an intimate relationship with the LanceScurv app. That's LanceScurv on Google Play, the App Store, and on Amazon. And it's free, and it's not bootleg. Everything a black man does is not bootleg. You gotta understand that. But I want to speak about today, and I didn't think I was going to talk about it. I was speaking to one of my dear sisters about it, and it was a little story about a cat. And she sent me a picture of her cat. And the cat was on his back. Hi, I know you can see me. Hey, can't hear me, right? But the cat was on his back, and the legs were open, the back was arched, and the paws were up, and it was just down in some sleep on this nice, clean, soft, shaggy rug. And you know, I told her, I said, listen, I love cats. Cats are very spiritual, and they're very perceptive, and they don't waste energy, right? They don't waste time. If they don't like a person, they don't waste time going around them in front, and they just go away from them. If they like you, they rub it all on your leg, and you hit them, you know, that kind of thing. I'm that same kind of way. If I gravitate towards you, we'll be laughing, we're talking, I get along. If you got some stench on you on a spiritual level, it's some deception, just keep going. People think I'm crazy, but I got to be true to myself. And that's what cats are. Usually cats are true to themselves. But I have an interesting story to tell you. I complimented her, and I said, listen, for your cat to be at home with you and that relaxed where it can open up, right? That says a lot about you. Seriously. Because if you had a cat that was brought up in a trauma-filled household and kicked and had hot water, boiling water thrown on it, and just starving or whatever, that cat would not be as relaxed because it still has the trauma in it. It would have to take time to get over what it went through. You see where I'm going with this, right? Because I'm talking about human beings, actually, not just cats. But it takes time. And there are some people that I've recently learned and known for a while, and recently found out this fact that there's trauma that some people have that are so deep that to even get them to acknowledge the trauma, to start working on it, is a big thing. Much less work on the trauma to get rid of the trauma, even though the scars may remain. Now that may take another 200 years, but how long are you going to live? So say you're 50 or 60 years old, and you're finally facing trauma. You grew up in a dysfunctional family. Trauma was the norm. I'm going to segue into another topic since I said that too, right? I want to take my time. I'm hyped, but the sun is only going to give me but so much time, and I have my light to hit on just to keep my face illuminated so you can see me. But the most important thing are the words that I'm trying to say. That many of us think that, okay, I'm going to start going to a therapist. And the word therapist freaked me out today. I'm bouncing around, y'all. I looked at the word therapist. And we know a lot of our sisters have been violated. And after the violation, they go to a therapist. But why do they want to call it therapist? Because if you separate the THE, which is the, what's left in that word? The rapist. Maybe I'm digging, but they need to change that word, therapist. And in their mind, they think about the trauma from when they may have been physically violated. And trauma doesn't always have to come to a sexual violation. I'm just saying with our sisters, a lot of it happens when they're young. And it may not be a rape where somebody's holding you down, and it may be somebody grooming you and taking advantage of it. That's still a rapist. But they call the person that you go to for healing and trauma therapist. Ooh. That bothers me. You know, they play around the English language so much, but like I said, a lot of the trauma that we have to get over doesn't have to, the time that it takes to get over this trauma, do we have enough time left? So that therefore, are we going to walk around with improved dealings with trauma? Like, the trauma's a lot less now, but I'm 80 years old. Well, maybe another 100 years I'll be over it. So the earlier that you can get to deal with this trauma is the more or quicker you can be free. Okay, this is a day called Christmas, and they celebrate and Jesus and also Nimrod. Okay, let's not forget that. Let's not forget the deceptions and Santa Claus, which has nothing to do with, it's just Satan's claws. And that's a whole other topic. But you're carrying a cross. Like they said, Jesus carried this cross, and they were whipping him and spitting on him and throwing rocks at him. And he's walking with this cross, the very cross he was going to get crucified on. So imagine this trauma that you've gone through in your life is this heavy cross that you're carrying. And it impacts every relationship that you have, from the casual to the most intimate. But you don't realize it because this is the norm for you, right? I'm going to get back to the cat story. But this trauma is the norm for you. And whenever you go in situations that are long-term sometime, that it's a new situation that is not negative, it's a new situation that brings no trauma to you, you don't feel normal because you're used to carrying this cross of trauma from the past of different types of violations. Even if you are not raped, even if you are not starved by your parents or abused and put down, it could be just the environment. But that environment has become the norm. For example, when I see mothers or fathers see their grown children and they don't hug and they don't embrace, the physical intimacy wasn't there, and they never received this as a child. So how could they expect to give this when they get older? You have men who never got that, and they're resentful of the thing called emotions. You're not supposed to show emotions. You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to be romantic. That's the Caucasian's way of doing things. That, my friend, is emotional constipation. Emotional constipation. When you cannot vibe on that level because you never had it before. It's like going to a certain restaurant where they have a certain type of food from a different culture in a different country, and you can't relate because you've never been exposed to this. So it gives me more insight now at this age that I always have studied human nature, but now pieces of different puzzles and what I observe in other people near and far are finally coming together, and I can see the signs. So when you date someone, but you see them visit their mother and they, hey, hi, you're supposed to be glad to see your mother. Your mother's supposed to reach out, and the mother's cold too. How do you think you're going to get treated when you're in that relationship? They may amp up to pull you in, but when things go back to what they consider normal, you're going to get that same treatment. And it's not really their fault. But what's really part of their responsibility is to be able to seek out help. And some people are so constipated with this pain and trauma that they can't push it out. Not to be lewd, but when you're extremely constipated, eating the bad food, and you're extremely dehydrated, and you sit down to go, you may feel like you want to go, and it's like you got a basketball in your stomach and this little orifice for it to come out of, and you sit like, what am I going to do? I feel like I have to go, but my gut is so full. Many of you are going to experience that tonight, all through the week, all from Thanksgiving up until New Year's. Like I said before, when you get that membership to the health spa that you never utilize because you go there out of guilt and pay that money. That's not going to get you in shape. You got to take action. But trauma is that cross that we carry. Let me tell you something about my little cat story, right? Aside from the contrasting story I said about the cat that was so relaxed, and it showed a lot about that household, the love, and the cat felt safe, and the cat felt love. Now, a cat like that cannot be put out in the street where it's a cat-eat-cat world, where you have to survive on those mechanisms of being shrewd in the street, and other cats are predators towards you, and other things are predators towards you. And many of us have come out of loving homes like myself, and I was taught the nitty-gritty about the world, but to see the lack of love in certain households and in certain girlfriends that I dated, and they were so cold, and they were traumatized on certain levels, and I never understood. I would pour love and give more love and give more love, and they just almost resented me for the love that I had in my heart, because that's something I need, but it's something I never got. And you giving me so much, I feel like, I realize how much I never got, and I resent you for it. No, I'm trying to give you what you need. But usually you get resentment toward from people who never had it. Even males who I have been cool with. You show them that you care in a heterosexual way. You show them that you care for them, you're looking out for them, you're doing little things over and above, and they begin to resent you because they see your light. And it doesn't match up with the anger that they had toward their father or their mother. And so every time you speak about how highly you think of your parents, and as a man, especially your father, if they hated their father, they will eventually hate you if they don't want to heal up. So they've got to create a world around them, right, that fits their narrative, right? It's just like I tell a lot of married men, when you have a single woman who's hitting on you. And the analogy I use, or the story I use quickly, and I'm going to come back to the cats now, but you know how I do. Let's enjoy the flow and the entertainment. She's across the street from you. She owns a house. She alone owns a house. She doesn't have any kids. She's by herself. She's got an hourglass shape. She's drop dead gorgeous. All of the amenities that most men would see and say, oh my God, look at her, eye candy. Now, it could be eye candy or something that you proceed to move in on at your own risk, right? Now, here you are with your family, your kids, your wife. You're treating them nice. You're providing for them. You're securing them. You're protecting them. All the things that a man is needed for in a woman's life, because that's the way the Creator made it. And she sees that. And her narrative on men to her girlfriends is that, yeah, this is Christmas and that is fireworks. If this was Brooklyn or Queens or anywhere in New York City, I'd be ducking right now because I'm on a rooftop, y'all. But this is Africa. It's a little different. Although they have a lot of guns out here too, the mentality behind it is not the same as in the States. But she sees you doing all of these things. She sees when you come home, the kids are, Daddy, Daddy. She sees you out there cutting the lawn. She sees you out there sneaking in gifts for your wife on your anniversary. I'm just pouring it on to paint the scenario. But her narrative of all men with her friends and in her life is that all men are dogs. But she greets you nicely, as she should. In passing, hi, how are you? Have a nice day, taking the kids to the beach today, whatever. And so she's seeing you, and the wife's waving at you too. She's not intimidated by your beautiful body, even though you've weaponized your body to get the attention of men that you don't want sometime. Now, you come out one day and you realize, and this is the woman now, right? She realizes that she hasn't seen your wife for a couple of weeks. And, she asks you that. You talk to her and everything. And you say, well, she went back to her country. Her father passed away. And you won't be seeing her for a little while. She's going to stay, with her kids and time and whatever. Oh, okay, no problem. So now she's like, oh, okay, we're going to try him. We're going to try him. So now, here you are getting ready to do your lawn work, same time on a Saturday, and she's coming out to do the same thing. But now she's dressed with a little more skimpy outfit on because the kids and your wife are gone, and it's only you. So this is a time for her to move in on you, right? So here she is, conveniently with some short skirt on a windy day, and she's bending wide open, and the wind is blowing things up, and you're seeing things that you never saw before from her side of the street. Even though you're not looking, you caught your eye. Men will catch your eye, and you say, okay, I want to go and put my mind that way. And all of a sudden, she has a problem. She has a challenge. She's a damsel in distress. So now she's like, oh, could you help me? I don't know how to do this. And, she's bending down. The breasts are threatening to fall out. And the nipples are poking. And we know them little things we see that trigger off men. I'm just being honest like that, right? So you say, okay, I'm out in the open. Nobody sees me. I'm going to go do this and this and that. And so she strikes up a conversation and wants to know how your wife is doing. And if you need any home-cooked meals, you can always, she'll bring some over for you. And she does. And she invites you over. Now, you got a decision to make. You're still thinking that she's innocent and everything like that, although we know that she's not. You can tell yourself that. But what she's waiting for you to do now is to hit on her. She's going to make it hard for you not to hit on her. Understand? And even in the most subtle ways. It doesn't mean she wants you sexually. They will arouse you sexually to see what kind of man you are, to see if you'll go for the bait. And once they see you reach for the cookies, right, and want to put some cream on them cookies, then, aha, he's just like all the rest of them. He's a dog. All men are dogs. Because, see, she had to bring you to that point, to see you at that point of being a dog, because she was very uncomfortable seeing you not as a dog. Why? Because if she says all men are dogs, she doesn't have to take accountability for her life and being single and not having anybody. That's just the way it is. Because a lot of women say, I don't need a man, but the older they get bitter. And it's not about any man, because you can get any man. You can go out to the supermarket and come back with 18 penises if you want, and tell them, line up, I'll do all your, okay. Be a pastor in one of them, a college professor in another one, the janitor from the school that overnight. It's easy to get penis. But when you have a man who is there to secure you, protect you, be committed to you, and dedicated to you, that's why the dick, after a while, it doesn't fill the crevices and the voids in your heart as a woman. It doesn't. But these women who want to believe that the narrative is that all men are dogs will try you so you can appear to be or show yourself as being a dog, even if it's on the sly. They say, he's just like the rest of them. So now they feel better. And then they have no problem. They don't want to be around you. They already know where you're coming from. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, how the heck did I get to that topic, right? I said, well, today being the holiday, it's beautiful out here. It's freezing in America right now, especially up north. It's freezing in Canada right now. And I'm sitting out here listening to, hens, and it's warm. I got to stop from sweating. Earlier it was a little hot. Oh, they heard me. They want to get these shout-outs. I don't think you heard that, right? But anyway, with the cat now, let's get to the real cat story. We spoke about the nice cat who felt protected, the safety, and reflected the loving household. Let's talk about the other cat that I want to talk about, right? My old girlfriend. I'm not going to mention no names, but y'all pretty much know who it might be. She had an aunt, right, that lived not too far, because my old girlfriend was living with me, and it was about it wasn't 10 miles, maybe 12 miles away, which by car is like that, right? And we weren't going over there to visit all the time, but there was a cousin, a male cousin of hers that came around. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me get it right. It was her brother, but he was never really around. He was much, about 15 years older. We were in our early 20s, and he was in his mid-30s. Put it that way, right? Sorry about the cousin brother. It was really close. He was charismatic. He was dapper, well-dressed. Not clown club dress, but well-dressed on a boardroom level. And the expensive things that he wore wasn't overdone, but it was classy. The man looked like an executive. He drove a brand new Mercedes-Benz, spotless. He was knowledgeable in so many things in the world, well-educated. He did go to college, but it wasn't college that gave him this particular charisma that he had. When he walked into the room, it was as though everybody wanted to get to know him. Not in any wayward way or some sexual way, but he was a magnet. Even I found myself listening to him like, man, this guy's fascinating. I would have loved to have a podcast back then. This guy was a sugar honey iced tea as far as just being around a person who was uplifting and positive, charismatic, and he had a little devilish way about him that he would say little stories. He'd say little things without saying it, and it was very attractive. And again, it's in a heterosexual way. The women always loved him, and it wasn't just they wanted to jump into bed with him, but it was just like, wow, you're different. You have a different energy. But I also noticed that he walked alone, because when you're a man like this, other men get envious of you. Even men who have more money than you, they don't have what you have as far as your energy is concerned. And they want to quell your energy. They want to keep you away from people. They want to destroy you. They don't want your energy to go out to the world where it can be appreciated. And I'm saying this for a reason, because it's happened to me, but not like that. That's why I don't really get along with insecure men I can't get along with, because they're always going to be taking jabs at me. They're always going to challenge me, frustrate me, whatever, because they see something they don't have and they're mad at that. I'm sorry. We're all built different ways, physically, mentally, spiritually, and as far as our experiences in the world. I can't help it the way I'm made. And my brother there, I call him my brother, but he's not my physical brother, but he was the brother of my old girlfriend. He was that way. And because I'm not insecure, I'm like this, man. I love you, man. I love your energy. You're refreshing to me. And we got along quite well. Back to the aunt now. He would visit the aunt because they were in the same age group, right? About maybe, well, she was a little older, maybe like 40 years old. He about 35. Me and my girlfriend about 22, 23 years old. So we were so intelligent at that time that we all can hang. We weren't stupid, you know. I'm living more basic now in the motherland, not because of the motherland, but because back then in those days it was so ripe. I realized how classy a life I was living in New York City, not because of things, but just I had more classy, upwardly mobile thinking people around me to choose from in my upbringing. I'm not saying anything bad about Africa, it's just that different culture, and a lot of those who moved here, they brought them bad ways from over America. That's a different topic, right? But anyway, I'm going to take my time and stretch this one out long. I'm going to keep it entertaining. But anyway, I saw that she was, by my spirit and by being up in her apartment a couple of times that I was there when my old girlfriend's brother came to town, because they were not super close, but they were closer. I said to myself, this woman is heavy into the occult. Heavy into the occult. And she was always trying to give us things to wear. Oh, I have this necklace for you. Oh, I have this bracelet for you. And I would, at first, before I came to that conclusion, oh, no problem, whatever. And after a while, when tensions started to rise in my personal life with my girlfriend and different things, I'm like, I ain't wearing this shit. Throw it as far away as I can. And almost immediately, those things were lifted. So I knew that this wasn't some African spirituality. This was a damn occult. When you go to an apartment, if it was a daytime, she had heavy drapes. Even if it was the summertime, heavy drapes covering the window. And she had AC or whatever. The climate was okay, but it was like everything was shut out. Everything was dark, just artificial lights. Then she was heavy into smoking the weed. Beyond the biggest weed head that I ever knew, right? She was heavy into that. I mean, when you walked in, even if she went out of town for 3 days and you walked in for 5 minutes and she didn't smoke yet, you caught the smell all over you. Like guys who go to the club and lie to their wives and come home not realizing they smell like smoking weed. You pick up on the environment that surrounds you. So that and the incense and how the way she dressed, and she was a very attractive woman, but she was more like she was a true Jezebel. You know what I mean? And she was deep into this thing. Now I didn't forget about the cat now, because here comes the cat. She had a cat that, not that she wanted to get rid of, but she was going to be making lots of trips and wasn't going to always be around to feed the cat. And she loved the cat, she said. But she said, if you need a cat or would like a cat here, you could take my cat. And I love cats. I was like, sure, let's bring the cat home. So we held the cat up and put the cat in the back seat. Cat ran around the back seat a little bit. Grown cat, right? Female. And we brought the cat home, let him run around. But you know, when cats come to a new environment, they usually just run up under a couch, or they kind of like, let me go somewhere I feel safe where I can watch all your movements. So after 2 or 3 days of that cat picking up the rhythms of the household, it started to come out more, but not that much. It was always standoffish, always craved the shadows. Now we open up the windows, let the air in. If it's warm, let the light in all the time. But the cat always gravitated toward the shadows. Let me go by the couch over here where it's dark. Let me go over here behind this or down in the basement where it's dark. I never understood that. Well, I know cats have the different personalities, right? So how should I say this next, right? Okay, so we get along like that. And eventually the cat would sometimes go outside. The cat was totally acclimated to being with us. And I would hold the cat. But you know how cats, when you hold them, they kind of melt on you when they get to know you. I think I'm a likable guy because I do like cats. I do like animals, right? But the cat would never really, and the cat's name, we called it Cleo, right? Cleo. The cat would never really relax its weight on me, or if I pet the cat, it would jump. Signs of trauma. But it was more than just physical trauma. I would say it was a spiritual trauma, okay? And this is why. And I've come to find out that the aunt was heavily into the occult, but I knew that. And lots of people who are heavily into the occult, they're not going to speak much about it, especially around other people who are knowledgeable about it. They'll be quiet about it, but they're observing. And they'll try to mask it with something else. But a lot of these people are straight out occultic, evil, satanic ass witches. And I don't deal with witches. If I deal with them, I didn't know. But once I find out, not me. I don't want that in my company. And there are good people who do things naturally with the forces of nature. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these evil, jealous, lonely, old-ass witches who just got to be up in everybody's life, and they mad from something that happened to them or what they don't have, and they got to do things to you. And they can be so charming and nice. Even when you know they are, you got to let them ease off slow. Sometimes it takes a year for them to ease off out your life, or 2 or whatever, right? But you got to be free from that energy, and you'll find that you can produce and be more and be true to yourself more. Well, let's get to the meat of it. This cat was a demon devil cat. Seriously. One day, I was in my basement, and I saw Cleo walking across. And Cleo never really opened up to me the way an animal would, where they come and they love you and you do things and you fall asleep and you cuddle them up, whatever. I went to pet Cleo's head, and Cleo jumped up and bit me in the web of my hand. Bit me to the point where, and I'm trying to throw the cat off and it wouldn't go. And this thing was hurting. I mean, a full bite. So I took the head, and I didn't want to do this. I pushed up against the wall with my hand. In other words, you're biting in, you're not letting go. Let me make you feel some pain so you can let go of me. And I pushed, and I didn't want to do it, and it hurt me to do it, but it's hurting me to have those claws, those teeth in the web of my hand here, right? So eventually, and it let go and ran. I was like, what the hell was that all about? Now, could you imagine? I can't relax. Come on now. When you home, ain't nobody around, or your significant other that you're involved with intimately, and you got a t-shirt on, you lay back on the couch. Listen, let's be real. You a man. Your penis and your balls are hanging out. You don't want no cat who's going to bite you like that, potentially, because it hurt on the hand. Could you imagine? In your testicles, a cat bite you like that? I'm going to kill that cat. I'm going to kill that cat. And I don't kill animals like that, right? So the cat ran up the steps. And, well, Cleo, I called it the cat. I'm going to have to put this light on soon because the sun looks so perfect over that mountain. I may just have to take a picture of this. It is so perfect. And it's so close to hitting the top of the mountain that you can watch it get closer and closer as the seconds go by. Let me take a picture of this. I'm really relaxed. I'm taking pictures while I do the show. I'm going to send it to somebody in a few minutes. It's a really beautiful thing. Nature is a beautiful thing. Look at that. It's sitting on top of the mountain right now. Anyway, I ran up the steps. It was dark all on the first floor. There was nobody else home. So I cut all the lights on because I heard this growling. And it was deeper than what the body of that little cat could produce. I was like, we going to war up in here after what you did to me. There's no reason. Imagine your eye, your neck, or, this flesh. We walk around tough, but this is no different than a piece of chicken that you bite into. So I said, we're going to have to rectify this situation. Now the sun is sitting directly on top of that mountain. That is beautiful. So I went in one room, didn't hear the growling. The growling was coming from this way. Went into another room, got closer. Went into this big dining room, right? I remodeled the place when right? The closet's right there. I don't see the cat. It's not up under the china closet. And so I opened up the closet that was right there in the dining room. And I heard it shift gears with his growl. This thing, what kind of evil did you have in you? What happened to you? It's that trauma that cat picked up on, and those demons that cat had in it. I'm telling you, straight up demonic energy forces in an animal. It can act nice sometimes. And this is like people. People can be the sweetest type of people, but want to see your downfall and hate you and want to do something to you. It's very frightening, because if a little cat can have that kind of essence to itself, imagine a cold, calculating human being who is hell-bent on bringing you down. Even if they have the amenities in life and they're okay financially, there are people out here who will hate you for the light that you have inside of you. See, I'm intermingling that cat message with something else. And the trauma that we go through. And sometimes we feel we have to get back at that next person who didn't go through that trauma. Time for me to put this light on. It's going behind, oh man, I have the light turned in the wrong direction. Oh man, I gotta do this in the middle of the daggone, but I gotta do this. Oh man, this is crazy. Okay, we'll do it like this. We'll do it like this. Let's see if we can get a little brighter. Sorry y'all, but it's about to get dark real quick. Okay, let's see how this works. I just purchased these lights, and they're small, and they're for like blogging and stuff, vlogging actually. Now, why isn't this going up anymore? See how this is? Look, see that little light, but it makes a big difference, because I'm gonna have to. This not bright enough. I'm gonna have to speed this up a little bit. Anyway, there it is. So I go to the closet, open up the door, and I look down to the bottom. You know, we got coats and pants and shirts and stuff hanging, and there's that little space at the bottom, and you could think that you could see the cat. No cat. And it got quiet. And I leaned into the closet to look in, heard it all loud. I backed up, because that was my face. Pushed the clothes back and forth. I didn't see the cat down. I didn't see it up on the shelf. Where the heck is this cat? Is it a spirit cat now? An evil cat spirit now that I can't? That's even worse, because I can't punch it, I can't throw it or do anything. So anyway, the cat was hanging on the rod between two coats. Could you believe that? Looking at me. I opened it and smacked the cat, and the cat jumped down to the ground and shot up into the front room. What did I do? It's hard to speak on how the front room was arranged, because there was a hallway next to it, but there was a wall. So in that room, when you came in from the front door and walked down the hallway, you couldn't see in the room because there was another door into the front room. So he ran in to the front room. I closed those doors to the front room, went to the other door to the hallway, opened up the front door, took some ammonia and emptied it out. I opened the door a little bit and emptied it out in the room and closed it in. Then I hear the cat going crazy. Right? So that being said, I opened that door so the cat can run out to get some fresh air and run right out the house. Successful. That cat stayed out all night long. And I heard him outside. I wasn't letting him in. I wasn't even trying to be cruel. I was thinking about getting him some food. The cat went away for a day or two, came back, kept hovering around the house. But my spirit told me, don't let this cat inside the house. The cat was getting in fights with other cats and taking chunks out the cats. I saw him one time biting up this other cat's neck. The cat was getting out of there. This cat was evil. So he wanted to come back inside. So me and my girlfriend, she was inside, I was outside, the door was cracked, and the cat, I was like, come on. I had a little something to eat, threw at it, not much. And then when they tried to run in the house, we caught the cat with a hefty bag, not to choke it off, but we're going to move you now without getting scratched up. And it was a double or triple hefty bag, right? Thick, the real thick ones. So he quickly ran to the car, kept a little bit open. She had it so he can breathe, but not let him out. Opened the windows, a little circulation. We weren't trying to be cruel. And we drove about 10 miles. Way down from the Van Wyck Expressway and the Liberty Avenue down toward Merrick Boulevard. Way down Merrick Boulevard. I'd say about 10 miles maybe, right? And we let the cat out in this bushy area where I know there were other cats. It wasn't that I let them off in the concrete jungle part where, you know, something can happen. I was still caring. And we went back home, and it was like, whew, we got over that. What was that all about? We knew, we talked about it. That trauma that that cat had to endure. So, about 5 days later, we hear cats around the house. The cat came back 10 miles? How do you do that? Like, I'm going to cross the street, you know what I mean? But it was a couple days, and the cat was really thin and all scratched up. So we had to go do the same thing over again and drive so far over the bridge going into Rockaway Park down Cross Bay Boulevard where there's some water, and then we still went toward Brooklyn. And what was it, a breezy point in that neighborhood? We let them out there. There's enough wildlife and mice and stuff out here. You can feast, but there's no way you're going to go over that bridge and find us after that. And that's what happened. Lesson well learned on multiple levels about the trauma that people go through situations. I'm quite sure if that cat was raised in a different environment, it would be quite different. Just like people who have been raised in different environments, they wouldn't be as evil as they are. And I'm not saying that people who have gone through trauma are evil, but there are some traumatized people who can be evil. There are traumatized people who are also very nice, and they're seeking out healing. So it's not that it's just one size fits all. But it's so hard to see those who have been through major trauma, and they don't really reveal it right away until you get close to them. Sometimes they will appreciate you for the love you give them and the attention and to help them heal. And sometimes they'll resent you because they realize that they never had what you had. And they can have money and riches and everything, but they don't have that peace of mind. And when you can laugh with less, when you can just be yourself and be with yourself and be at peace, they don't have that. And I've known people to act so different other than their true selves. They have you fooled, and then they lash out. And just like I got bit in the web of my hand, they will bite you out of nowhere in a way that's like, wow, it's like this person really hates me. So you have to be careful and understand what people have gone through before you let them into your life, let them into your world, and like the cat, let them into your house. You don't know, because sometimes years can go by and they know what they're feeling, but they know how to act, I won't say normal, because there is no normal, but they know how to act acceptable on a social level to be attractive to you, that you bring them on in so they can do their dirt. So be careful. There are a lot of energies around here. There's a lot of masked energies around here. And as far as I'm concerned right now, I have no time to sit here. I'm going to tell you how I do now. For 2023 and from now on, even from last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever, if I don't agree with you, get the F away from me. If I don't agree with you, keep your ass away from me and mine. I'm not going to negotiate with these people that you have the gift of discernment. I can say I'm an empath. I don't want to say it because I'm an empath, like I'm above anybody. But yes, I can feel people strong, even as I'm a comedian and making people laugh and talking stupid or sexual or whatever. There's a very serious person behind me, and I'm very serious about this particular junction point in my life. I am not going to waste any time negotiating with a person who's trying to get around me because of whatever resources or security they think they can get around me, or just get around me and just make my life salty and take years and infiltrate like a worm in your body, get all up in your system and then all of a sudden drop the bomb. No more of that. So if it's just a little bit of poison in their system, 1% or 99%, they all get the treatment. Get the F away from me. No explanation. I already know what you are. You already know what you have inside of you. Other people may not know it, but I know it. So do me a favor. Because see, you were given your life for a reason. And you were not given your life to negotiate with the naysayers who want to mess up the glorious future that you have, where they have no potential or have no interest in ascending to a higher level before they leave out of here. They're just on, I'm going to take a doo-doo, I'm going to take a pee, I'm going to eat some food, I'm going to drink some liquor, smoke some weed, have sex, but I'll talk spiritual, but there's nothing behind it, because like I said before in other videos, it's easy to plagiarize spiritual talk and sound a certain way when you want to pierce into the circles of people who think higher. So you copy and plagiarize the words of what you hear, and you use that as a shield to get in. Or like when you're trying to get in as a boxer to a bigger opponent, you put your guard up and you bully your way in, and you shift and you do what you have to do, maneuver, so you throw them blows, right? They do this. So you have to be able, and you desire to walk alone. You want to walk with people who are on that vibe. But when you vibe and you don't get that back, then you know something's wrong. Especially us as grown adults. We know what we're doing. But many of them want to play their little Jedi mind tricks and say, oh no, it wasn't that. When you clearly you know it was. And when you think, you're like, no. Because look, I'm older now, y'all. I'm not an old man. I'm still functional in every way. I have a lot of juice left in my fruit. And there are times in my life when I think back, if I wasn't in that relationship, I could have done more. If I didn't have this frenemy who I thought I was in a friendship with, I could have done more. And I am not going to get to this point of freedom from America. Freedom near nature. Freedom where my overhead to maintain my life is so much lower. I'm free on a man-made level. Now I want to go inside, because the answer is not outside. The answer's not outside of you. It's inside. Leave me alone and let me have the time to get inside myself and pull out the gifts and the perspectives and the insights that my Creator has given me. If you're not interested in those things, there's no problem. Go and get a Heineken and get your blunt and stare off into space and fill your gut. Do whatever you want to do. But I have no time for that. And for the folks who are out here, Lance, you're an alpha male. No, I'm not. I'm a sigma male. I'm an empath sigma male. If you had to put me in a category, the closest category I'd say is that. And those are the dudes that bring some real responses from the frauds out there. Because to do what I do takes a lot of time. A lot of time to myself. I talk publicly on these videos. I'll go places and speak. And I have a few surprises that way coming for the new year. In different countries soon, next year, which is what, next week, right? Right? But it's not next week. But I'm working on things, and this is a joy to be able to move forward with no obstacles, where there have been many obstacles that attempted to get in my way, but they can't stop me. If what you're doing is something that is righteously ordained, even if it's not a big position in the world, but from what your little angle, if this is what it is you're supposed to do, then do it with passion, do it with love, do it with all your strength and breath. And that's what I hope to do in my own little way. Because we're not going to be here forever. Even this world as it is not going to last forever. You see what's going on out in the world. Many have said that this day called Christmas may be the last Christmas we'll ever experience on this level, that the world is going to change. I'm not saying it's going to end, but life is going to be thrown back a couple of decades, and things are going to change drastically, and you're going to see who really is in your corner or not. You're going to learn a lot about yourself or not. And really, I'm not scared of it. I'm not a tough guy, but what's going to happen is going to happen. Prepare yourself on a spiritual level and to be able to survive. I'm not going to go off into a whole conspiracy theory thing, but understand that this world is not made to order. You can't expect to have something reciprocated to you that a person doesn't have inside. And you have to stop also, I'm not going to say stop being good, but stop Stop sharing your light with those entities who you know not what is inside of them. Because many will resent you for it and try to bring you down because of it, because they don't have it. That's weird. You would think that people would love to be embraced and love to be lifted up. Dame Dash said it though. Dame Dash said it. Dame Dash said it. And how can I say it the way he said it exactly? He said, many of the people that you help will hate you for it. Whether you help them or not. But when they see that there's this thing inside of you where you help other people or you encourage other people, you know, encourage a lot of people on social media, help to build them up, they will hate you after a while for what you are and what you do and what you have given. They will hate you. And what he said, this is why he only deals with the female energy. He only deals with women. You can't deal with every woman now, right? But men, especially, they will hate you for what you do for them. Not all, but some. And far too many. So me, being out here all of these years online with so many bits of content out that I kind of make every day. Yesterday I didn't do that. I put up a few shorts, but I rested. Now I don't have to really kill myself. I'm enjoying life more, and it's a wonderful thing. I think I've earned the right to have a day off maybe once every 2 or 3 years, right? And I did. And it's easier because I'm in my lane, I'm in my momentum. I don't have anything coming at me to stop me. Anything that I see that might be an obstacle, I get rid of it. I'm not going to wait for it to fester up. It's like there's a person who may, unfortunately have a cancerous tumor that's not malignant, but not benign, but malignant. Benign just grows and doesn't spread, but malignant, it grows and eventually it starts to spread. You cut it all out before it becomes a problem, because you know from the characteristics of a malignant tumor, you know it's going to be a problem. So keep these tumors, keep these malignant tumor people out of your life and you won't have any problems. I have no time to waste. No time to waste. I got books in me. I got videos in me. I got blogs in me. I got interviews in me. I got a lot to do. And I want to keep a clear, happy, healthy mind. This week coming in for me, I have several things planned. I'm looking forward to them, and I'm going to do them in a centered way. Because I've gone through trauma myself, but not the usual traumas of people who are molested. Although I was molested by a woman when I was 5 years old. And it made me quite promiscuous, and thank God that I didn't ever catch these things that go to the bloodstream. I don't know how I did it, but I've been protected, and I really think you know what? I've been protected for a reason. Because there's no way. It's like running out in the rain during a hurricane and running down the block and coming back and no water drops hit you. That's how blessed I am. So I ain't gonna push it, but I know my place, and I know these are golden years for me to produce content and influence and be influenced, because I am seeking to grow also. It's not just a matter of I'm some big guy who knows everything. No, I'm emptying out all of the experiences I've been through that you can learn from, but I'm also open for those experiences that can teach me something to go to a higher level, right? So many people I want to give a shout out to, but it's too much to list. It'll be probably 4 times the length of this video. But my little neighborhood here, the folks who I love so much, who have reached out to me and got close to me, and I feel so at home. And no matter the next step when it happens, I love it here. And there are homes here that have opened up to me, and I really want to thank you all for the love and support that you've given me. And I really, really feel at home here. Some places you don't feel as much, but here, I feel good. This is like my own personal Mr. Rogers neighborhood. In a sense, it ain't got nothing to do with Mr. Rogers, right? But anyway, I'm going to sign off. I hope you got something out of that story. And there's so much more that we have to talk about on a human nature level. And we're going to do that. And I'm going to be speaking in an uncensored manner, authentic, from the heart, no script. You don't see me looking at, hold on, let me see, number 3, Yeah, we got to talk about number 3. Yeah. No, that's what I do. That's the way I've always been. New York had a lot to do with it. It kind of flavored me a certain way. But great people come from all over the world. And we as black people, we're special people. A lot of us just don't understand how special we are, and we take the other way down, and we go into them dark places, and we never manifest what we're supposed to be. Every corn in the bag of popcorn doesn't always pop the time that it's in the microwave, and that's sad, because we all have the potential to pop and expand and be who we are and be a plus to the world around us, and that's the way it's supposed to be. If not, there's something wrong. Anyway, salute to my brothers. Much love. Mwah. Twice for y'all. Mwah. Sisters are beautiful inside and out. And although I'm out to pasture, I will say you all are some beautiful specimens of womanhood, and those who are spiritually in tune, it just makes it even better. And keep growing and keep being the beautiful women that you are. A lot of our sisters, unfortunately, they want the queen treatment, but they're not doing the right thing. You got to do the right thing. But there are a lot of women out here, a lot of sisters who are keeping themselves right, have the right state of mind, they have discipline in their life. They're not giving themselves just to everybody and anybody. And they'll make a wonderful wife. And there's a husband out there for you if you do the right things. Don't think you're going to just mess up, make these bad decisions, and have a fairy tale ending. You're going to have to deal with that. So don't react to the trauma in a bad way where you think that this guy and this guy, oh, he said he loves me, I'm going to lay down with him, and you're making child after child after child, and you find yourself in a position that if you didn't do that and dealt with the trauma directly, you'd be better off. But it's hope for everybody, just a little more harder sometimes. Anyway, let me head on out, and what can I say? I feel good about this one. And I can't believe I had the light turned the wrong way. Anyway, if you stayed here this long, again, go to the LanceScurv app, download it. You should have my app in your phone. You will not miss anything. You'll have everybody who does major shows, the latest videos, everything. And there's a feedback button on there. Go to the app, hit the feedback button, and hit me up. It'll go to a special place. Let me know what I should do more of, what kind of content that you like, the interviews or this, or I liked when you do this or that, do more of this or that. I want to know. I want you satisfied, because that's my job here, to hit those voids and those places that need the nourishment where it's needed, and my job is done. Anyway, much love to you all. LanceScurv out. Enjoy your holidays. Drive careful, eat careful. Do not drink so much if you got to drink. Have a good time. Love your family, those who are true to you. The people who are pieces of crap, get them away from you, right? Purge it out your life. Anyway, much love to you all. Leave your comments. Let me know how you feel about this video. LanceScurv out. On to the next one. Peace.